Afternoon everyone, here it is Friday again. I know it's only a week since I last spoke to you, but it feels like a month has passed. There's been so much change in the last week. I guess it's been one of the most challenging weeks ever in business. So I thought rather than doing the usual weekly roundup video where we talk about what Ekstra Solutions has been doing in the week, that I would share with you my thoughts as to how I, as a chartered management accountant, can perhaps help in these uncertain times. So I suppose the first thing I want to talk about is mindset. It's absolutely essential that you get yourself into the right mindset and don't panic. Now I know that's easier said than done. If your feelings of fear and overwhelmness are too much, that's perfectly normal. But what you need to be able to try and do is to not let that consume you to the point that you're actually helpless and don't do anything. So if you are feeling that way, I would suggest that you speak to someone. You know the old saying, a problem shared is a problem halved. Just to get it off your chest and to clear your mind and to find a way to think about this in a positive manner to be able to get through it. Talk to family, talk to friends, but if you don't feel comfortable doing that, talk to someone you trust and can confide in. I'm offering to be at the end of the line if there isn't anyone that you feel that you want to share that with. I like to think that I would be able to help and if nothing else, just be an ear and to listen to how you're feeling. So if you're anything like me in a crisis, what you really want or would love to have is someone to sit down and tell you these are the things you need to do so that you can get up and go and do those things, knowing at least that you're trying to do something to alleviate the situation. And that helps to distract your mind to some degree of all the different thoughts and scenarios that's running through your mind, which is not really helping you because it's just zapping your energy. And really what you need to be doing is to try and work through various number of steps to make a difference and to help you focus and see the way through all of this. So with that in mind, I mean, there's lots of information out there, there's lots of articles, there's lots of people saying and pointing towards different things that you should try and do and ask for. But for me, it really is about the practical steps of what you can do. Looking at all this information can just be as overwhelming as sitting down and thinking, what am I going to do? So I thought what I would do would be to set out a couple of steps that I think are practical things that you can start immediately to try and help your situation. The first of those is to get a cash flow in place. Now, you may never have done a cash flow before, and if you haven't, that's okay. There's help here to do that. Get a cash flow and work out the worst case scenario. What is the worst case scenario? Well, the worst case would be that you have no income coming in for at least 3 to 4 months. What does that mean in reality? That could mean a number of things, but it might not be as bad as what you actually think, because you may have some reserves within your organisation that actually helps you pay the absolute necessary costs that you have to pay, for example, your staff. So that's the first thing, is get that cash flow going and look at it on a very regular basis. And I'm talking about at least once a week at the very minimum. The second thing that you need to do then is to look at a forecast. Plan out for the next 3 months, 6 months and 12 months and see what does that look like. Now, you'll be making some assumptions as you go ahead at time, but that's okay. We're going to be looking at that as well on a regular basis, maybe once a fortnight, at least at the minimum once a month. The third thing I would ask you to do is just to have a bit of a brainstorming session with yourself and your staff, or again your colleagues, or whoever you feel you can rely upon in these times, to see what are the alternative things that you could potentially do within your business. It might be things that you've been thinking about and haven't got around to doing, or there might be things that you would have tried before and maybe didn't work quite so well, but it's worth having a go again. Brainstorm as many different things as you can think of that you might be able to do as an alternative to what you're currently doing. And then the last thing I would say is talk to people, talk to your suppliers, talk to your customers, talk to your staff, let everybody know what your situation is, how you're trying to address it, how you're trying to cope with it. And we're all in the same boat. We're all facing this together. You're not alone. So the more that you communicate and the more frequently you do that, the more people will be educated around you as to what your situation is, and vice versa, what your customer's situation is as well. And I think that always helps, because everybody should be aware that this is not of our own making, and therefore we haven't brought this upon ourselves. So don't be afraid to talk to people. Anyone that you think is a trusted advisor, or all the relationships you have with all the different people within your circle, talk to those. And it might be one little nugget of information you get that helps you see things more clearly, or gives you an idea that maybe you hadn't thought of before. So it probably feels so far that I'm just another person sitting here telling you what to do. Well, that's not the case. I'm actually going to offer a number of services or help support packages to anyone who's sitting watching this. The first is a free cash flow planning session where we'll sit down together and we'll work out a cash flow for you. And then to help you for the next 4 weeks after that cash flow is prepared, to monitor it and see where it takes you. The second thing then that I'm offering is, if you don't have an accounting system as such, or you have a very manual system, or you're thinking about going to cloud accounting, I'm offering you a free subscription for 6 months on a zero accounting package. And that will help you look at your income and expenditure and help you plan forward also. The third thing then is that I've joined a group of accountants online who are all in practice or in business, and we've agreed between us across the island of Ireland that we will share our information and knowledge, experience and contacts whilst we go through these turbulent times. That's an invaluable source, and it enables everybody to have the benefit of all the experiences and information and assistance that each other has availed of, maybe in different parts of either Northern Ireland or of Ireland. And then last but not least then, I'm also offering to support businesses with applications for financial aid. So there's obviously a lot of different support schemes being talked about at the minute. Some are still to be ironed out as to exactly what they are. But all of that will require a separate resource and energy to actually sit down, 1, identify them, 2, apply for them, and 3, talk to the various agencies and bodies that's going to be dishing out that money. All of that takes time and effort. So as a business owner, you're going to be busy enough trying to manage your staff, manage your business and keep the doors open and trading. And therefore, the best that I can do to help you is to provide support in this form. So if you're interested in any of those things, please do get in touch. I put my phone number up and my email address. Please don't be afraid to give me a ring. I'm here to help. I don't want anything. There's no obligation to using my services. This is purely me just reaching out and trying to help local businesses around me. So the most important thing is that you don't feel overwhelmed, and if you do, you come and speak to someone. I'm here. I'm happy to answer the phone to anyone to keep yourself safe. Your health is your wealth at the end of the day, and to keep positive. There is a way through this, and together we will manage to do that. So have a good weekend. Look after yourselves, and I'll speak to you next week. Okay.